Good afternoon, everyone. It's Michelle from Leveroni Family Farms. I'm going to do a little bit of an update in our garden. It hasn't been producing as much this year as what we expected or hoped for, but I do want to share some things that we're doing. This was a volunteer lettuce plant from last year that I seeded in here. It's going to try to grow some lettuce for us, but it didn't come up until this year. And this is basically just a garden for flowers. I have lots of irises in here, as you can see. There's a little tomato. I have containers along here. And it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so everything is going to look kind of droopy. Down there, I have more tomatoes and peppers and zucchini in the far pots, eggplant. Then there is potatoes over in the kiddie pool. And I have the cabbage. It's doing really well. We actually have heads on our cabbage this year. But this is the bed I started doing yesterday, I believe. I had help bringing the frame up, and this wood right here is going to go on top. This was the second layer I had down below. But I want to do this with all the beds. I decided that they needed to be deeper. I'm not getting any younger, so my knees and hips and back can't take the bending over anymore, but I want to get them up to at least 18 inches if I can. I know this is kind of close, but I'm going to put another one here along this bed and just leave enough room here to walk through. But I have most of the drip irrigation in all the beds so far, and these beds actually were wider, but the chickens got in here a couple times and tore them up. Here's our tomatoes. These are beefsteak tomatoes. They're not doing great, but they're not doing bad. And then over here I have more tomatoes, and I have some tomatoes and peppers and flowers in that one. This one I'm not sure what that one is. That's a volunteer plant. This is red kiri squash, and this one is pumpkin. Part of the problem I think with our garden this year has to do with us being out of water 3 different times. And we've been here 18 years and we've never been out of water more than twice in that whole entire time up until this year. I don't know why it's been a problem, but it's also been hard to get water delivered to. So I think we're going to buy a trailer and some tanks and start hauling our own, because we really could use the water. But anyway, this is composting in place and using cardboard to hold moisture. It's kind of similar to hugelkultur. I'm going to try to get the other boards on and see how deep it's going to be. I want to fill it up the rest of the way, and I think I'm going to plant along here where the boxes are. It'll all be filled in, but I think I'm going to try to do some lettuce when it gets a little bit cooler. Anyway, another issue that we've had, I think, is we've been using, it's been aged or composted horse manure, but I think it still has the residue from weed killers in it, because we should have had last year, well, it was a bug issue, but this year I've only killed maybe 12 squash bugs, and the entire time that we've had, and mostly was that one, the one that's on the fence, it's not doing as well. But last year we had them, you know, we could kill 12 in no time. But the weed killer residue actually makes your plants curl and not do so well. I've been doing some research and I've heard over and over and over not to use horse manure, so I think I'm going to not do that anymore. I have horse manure in my worm bin, or my tub that's outside here, and we're going to see how that goes. If I can find some more research on that, whether the worms will pull it through and not, not have the weed killer come through, then I'll continue to use it. Otherwise, I'll quit using that in my worm bins too, or the tub, because I don't use it in the house. Because I have a worm bin in the house. But anyway, I haven't done an update up here in a long time, and I've pulled quite a few plants, especially like over here on this one where I had peas. I couldn't get cucumbers or anything to grow over there every time I planted them, and they came up a little bit and then they pretty much died off. So I don't know what the problem was, unless it's the weed killer. But like I said, we're doing some work up here, adding more, bringing more of the soil up from where the middle garden was down in zone B excuse me, and putting it on here to make these beds a little bit deeper too. And it's really rich, dark soil, so hopefully it has some life in it. That's it for now. Have a great afternoon, evening. Bye everyone.